What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Sticks, and I'm back with a reaction video. Hey, check this out. If this is the first time you're coming across my channel, do me a favor. Hit that like and subscribe button. It would help out the channel, and I greatly appreciate it. On this channel, I talk about everything locked up related. Sometimes I tell you my lockup stories. Sometimes I'm doing reaction videos. Today's reaction is going to be about armed suspects who try to rob a local liquor store but get more than what they thought. Let's get right into this. Come on.
A suspect gets more than he bargained for when he attempts to hold up a liquor store where the owner is armed. It happened in...
Damn, he went in there with that big boy and didn't even make it really past the door. This must happen to this store owner all the time because he was already prepared and everything. Unless they've done this to him before and he just recognizes the car or something. But right there in the video, it shows him holding the shotgun or whatever. So he was fully prepared before they could even make it into the store.
Orco, California on July 31st. Officials say 4 masked suspects attempted to rob a liquor store just before 3 o'clock in the morning. The suspects were armed with long guns and had coverings on their faces. Store security footage shows a suspect enter and call for the owner to put his hands up. That's when the owner pulls out a rifle of his own and fires. Security footage outside the store shows a suspect run back to a vehicle yelling, "He shot my arm off."
Running back, he shot my arm off. Did you see his homeboys just whoop, bust a U-E, jump right back into the car? They don't want no more of that at all. Before his homeboys could even get out of the vehicle and make their way into the store, he was already running and screaming, "He shot my arm off." That is crazy right there. But hey, look, if you ask me, they got exactly what they were looking for. You go out trying to rob this man's business that he probably worked his whole life to have. Now, this ain't one of them big box stores with all the insurance and everything. This is probably a family-owned liquor store. And they're just barely getting by. This man is clearly tired of people taking stuff from him or trying to rob him. He comes fully prepared, and hey, that's the world we're living in now. It's how it is. It's as crazy as I've ever seen it with the gunplay. I mean, you can't even go to the grocery store or to the mall or anything and feel safe without having to constantly look around, be aware of your surroundings, look who's looking out of place or whatever, because of all these people out here wanting to just shoot random people for no reason. Whatever happened to the days where you had a problem with somebody and you handled that? Now we got people that just shoot into the crowd, shoot random people, not caring if kids are around or not. That's the type of people that need to be locked up. They need to be off the streets. They're a threat to society. Look, I don't feel bad for him at all. Coming up in there thinking he was going to flash the big boy rifle, and hey, he got what he got.
In all the commotion, the getaway driver begins to leave without one of their passengers. The left-behind suspect then jumps into the vehicle and it drives off. Officials say the 4 suspects were later found at a hospital one who had injuries consistent with a shotgun blast. Authorities say the vehicle used in the getaway was stolen, as were several weapons found inside. The suspects were identified as 22-year-old Justin Johnson, 27-year-old Jamar Williams, and 24-year-old Devon Broaddus. So far, officials have not released the name of the suspect who was wounded. For the latest...
Got him! Got him!
And here, Craig Cope, thank you so much for joining us. Now, we'll start right away because we don't have a lot of time, but when this happened to you on Sunday and you saw them coming in that door with that weapon that appeared to be an AR-15, what were your thoughts?
There wasn't much time to think about it. It was just the guy pointed the gun directly at me. Then it's him or me.
You acted right away. Frankly, if it had been me, I'd probably be dead. I wouldn't know what to do. I'd freeze, but you knew.
I am not going to give him the chance. I mean, if I recognize the weapon, that's a semi-automatic gun, fast you can pull the trigger, maybe someone converted to automatic, it's equivalent of a machine gun. I'm not going to let him get the first shot off at that point.
The reaction, not just here in Norco, but in Southern California, has been incredible. People and business owners who say, we are so tired of this crime wave. We are so glad that you defended your business.
Yeah, well, I don't know that I did anything that somebody else wouldn't have done, but two things. We need more people to stand up, but more than that, probably get on the wrong side of some people here, but the politicians, there's people out there that are not the best of people. There's people that choose to be burglars. There's people...
I'll tell you what it looks like to me. It looks like they're probably familiar with this store. It's an old man working in there. They thought he was going to be an easy target, and they found out. Fuck around and find out, right? Because I'm sure that this man had something tipped him off. He was already holding the gun by the time they walked in there. So, for some reason or another, he was already prepared.
Choose to be armed robbers, and I had one guy one time, he told me specifically he was a burglar. I mean, I had him in handcuffs, he was going to jail, and he's talking to me. He's a burglar. He says, that's what I do. He says, I wait till it gets dark and I go burglarize places. So these people that can continually get let out now, it's been really bad the last year. Those people, the majority of them, are going to go right back to what they used to do. So the crime rate is escalating, and it's going to continue to escalate until they start putting the people away that are doing the bad things. And as far as here and my place, it wouldn't have done any good to call the local sheriffs. They can't get here that quick. This whole thing, from the time I saw him coming around the side of the building to coming in the door, and what happened, 10 seconds. The actual thing from when he pointed his gun at me, half, 3/4 of a second, because I'm not waiting. When you point that gun directly at me and you're that close to me and I see what you're carrying, I'm not waiting.
Now,
I think he did exactly what he was supposed to do. If anybody's mad at this guy for defending his property, his store, his livelihood, then I don't know what's wrong with you. But imagine somebody coming into your house or your place of business where you live or make your living and try to take that from you. And not only that, you don't even know that they're just going to rob you and leave. They're liable to get scared and shoot on the way out because they didn't go in there planning to kill nobody, but they got nervous or whatever happened or accidentally shot you. You can't, he did the right thing. You can't give them time to see exactly what they're going to do. He's holding a rifle, pointing it at you, telling you to put your hands up. You have to react. I'm just curious to why he was already holding a shotgun. So maybe he's got cameras outside or something and seen them scoping the place out is what I'm thinking. But yeah, they picked the wrong store on the wrong day. And more people should probably be like this. Because if you know there's a chance you're going to get shot as soon as you walk in that store, get your arm blowed off like that guy said, you're probably not going to do it. Because realistically, the only place worse than prison is being dead. And when you're going into the store armed like that, that's your only two outcomes. Other than that, you get away, but when you get away, that's just going to pump your adrenaline for the next time and the next time, because I'm sure these guys, I'm sure it's not the first time they've robbed a store, but it probably will be their last, just for the simple fact that this man showed them reality. Hey, he's willing to stand up and protect his stuff. And hey, I salute him.
Saw them in the parking lot, and the first tip off was when he put his mask over his face.
First tip off, I saw him through the front door drive into this parking lot, but they didn't park where a normal person would park.
Okay.
So that was a red flag. Then they parked on the side of the building where they're basically out of sight. That was the second red flag. When I looked and saw him getting out of the vehicle,
I knew it. See, I knew something tipped this man off to, as soon as the guy stepped through the door and pointed the gun, if you go back and watch the video, he's already holding his. So I knew it was something that tipped him off. So he's saying that they parked on the side of the building, then they parked in front of the building. He could see them trying to put their mask on and stuff like that. So, yeah. And by the time they came in, it was game on.
they got gloves, masks, a weapon. That just solidified the deal for me. I knew what was coming.
Now, right after the shooting, you got sick. You had a heart attack. How are you doing?
As far as I know, I'm doing better. I'm doing a lot better than I was that night.
Was traumatic.
Damn. Because of this incident, this man actually had a heart attack. And realistically, he probably didn't want to have to shoot nobody. But like he said, at that point, it's my life or your life. And I agree with him. But they caused this man to actually have a heart attack and everything. So, those are the type of people that don't need to be on the streets. Hey, they build jails and prisons for a reason. I've met plenty of people that deserve to be locked up. They deserve to be in there. I've met some good ones that just made some mistakes and they probably shouldn't have deserved all the time they got. But trust me, there's a lot of people sitting in prison that don't need to get out.
Yeah, I don't know what caused it. Maybe I'm just old.
Well, you're 80 years old, and we're all in shock and just amazed at how you reacted in such an intense moment with that man walking in with that weapon. What's your advice to business owners who are just so fed up with this crime?
Okay, yeah, you can do what I did, but what you really need to do is put some pressure on the politicians because they got no clue what's really going on out here in the real world. I could start naming names, but there's a whole lot of them that are creating major problems for business owners, but for local law enforcement, they're creating problems for them. I'm sure they go out and risk their lives taking people into custody to see them get let out with no bail. And a lot of these people are career criminals. I'm not talking about the guy that goofed up one time, made one mistake. I'm talking about the career criminals. They're career criminals. They need to be locked up.
So, if this were to happen again, you would not hesitate?
No.
Your message to the bad guys?
This isn't a good place to pick.
Yeah, that's right. This isn't a good place to pick. So anybody thinking about it, not a good idea. Thank you so much for speaking with us, and I'm so glad that you're doing so much better.
I'll tell you right now, they said They caught the suspects a little while later at the hospital. All 4 of them was arrested. One of them had a shotgun wound to his arm, like he said. Not sure that it blew his arm off, but realistically, the old man was probably aiming for his head. So getting your arm blowed off is probably the best outcome that could have happened, because had he shot you in the face with that shotgun, it would be all over and the streets wouldn't have to worry about you. But yeah, I mean, you got to think about this. Like, for the people that's raising kids and the people that's trying to make an honest living, do you really want people in your community with guns like that coming in, robbing stores where you shop, where your kids go? It's crazy. I'm 100% with this store owner. I think he did the right thing. Put it in the comments. Tell me, how do you feel about this situation? Until next time, hold your head and stay out of lockup.